In a previous video of mine, I went through the story behind the Lower Manhattan Expressway from it being proposed to it being completely cancelled. There are countless highway projects proposed by Robert Moses did not make it to reality, and today I'll be going over some of these projects. The first one on this list is the Mid-Manhattan Expressway. Like the Lower Manhattan Expressway, the Mid-Manhattan Expressway was meant to be another cross-Manhattan highway. The plan called for an extension of the Interstate 495 highway across Manhattan to the Lincoln Tunnel. It would then connect with the Interstate 95 highway in New Jersey. The highway was initially proposed in 1936 by Manhattan Borough President Samuel Levy. By 1949, Robert Moses proposed it as a 6-lane highway along 30th Street. Later plans called for the highway to be built at 10 stories high with new high-rise buildings constructed above it. There were even plans for the expressway to go through the Empire State Building. In 1963, the expressway's plan was finalized, receiving the I-495 designation. By the end of 1965, with opposition from the city government, Moses canceled his Mid-Manhattan Expressway plan. The city preferred a cross-down tunnel instead of the elevated expressway. In 1971, New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller removed the Mid-Manhattan Expressway along with other highway projects from state plans, officially killing the Mid-Manhattan Expressway. Next on the list is the highway through Washington Square Park. In 1940, when Robert Moses was the park commissioner, he brought up the idea for a double highway next to Washington Square Park. Though that idea never moved forward, Robert Moses later proposed a highway that would connect Fifth Avenue with West Broadway and renamed as Fifth Avenue South. This plan saw huge opposition from the public. The fight was led by Jane Jacobs, who was also fighting against the Lower Manhattan Expressway. By the end of the 1950s, Robert Moses canceled the plan. Washington Square Park was remodeled, but luckily it was not destroyed by the highway cutting through. The Lower Manhattan Expressway, Mid-Manhattan Expressway, and the highway through Washington Square Park were not the only highway plans Robert Moses had for Manhattan. He also proposed a plan for an expressway for Uptown Manhattan in Harlem, known as the Cross-Harlem Expressway. The Cross-Harlem Expressway, as described in the 1955 Joint Study of Arterial Facilities by the Tri-Borough Bridge and Tunnel Authority and the Port of New York Authority, was to build an elevated expressway connecting the Tri-Borough Bridge with the proposed Hudson River crossing to Edgewater in New Jersey. Robert Moses initially favored other projects, such as the Frost Neck and Arizona Narrows bridges, compared to this one. However, Robert Moses started pushing for the Cross-Harlem Expressway in the 1960s. In 1964, the plan was included in the Regional Planning Association Highway Plan for the New York region. In 1966, Robert Moses was removed from his post as the New York City Arterial Coordinator by the newly elected mayor, John Lindsay, thus killing Moses' Cross-Harlem Expressway plan. So far, we have covered the 3 unbuilt highway projects in Manhattan. Now, we will be moving to the outer boroughs and looking at unbuilt highway projects there. Starting with the Bushwick Expressway, a proposed east-west highway route across Brooklyn, running from the Williamsburg Bridge to the Nassau Expressway. The expressway was initially planned in 1935 by the RPA. In 1955, it was included in the draft of the Joint Study of Arterial Facilities, written by Robert Moses. That same year, it was included as part of the Interstate Highway System in the Federal Bureau of Public Roads. The expressway later got the designation of Interstate 78, making it eligible to be paid by federal funds. In 1963, 3 alternative routes were proposed and the middle route was chosen. The highway would have required a relocation of 3,850 families, 350 businesses, and 14 community buildings. None of these routes could avoid disruption to the community it went through. The highway was scheduled for completion by 1974. Like the other highways proposed by Moses, it was very controversial. The mayor at the time, John Lindsay, preferred the Cross-Brooklyn Expressway instead of the Bushwick Expressway. Robert Moses, on the other hand, wanted both. By 1969, the Bushwick Expressway was removed from the city plan by Mayor Lindsay, and it was officially killed in 1971 by Governor Rockefeller, along with the Lower Manhattan Expressway, Mid-Manhattan Expressway, and other controversial highway plans by Robert Moses. Next on this list is the Clearview Expressway extension. The Clearview Expressway is the Queens section of the Interstate 295, starting from the Thrust Neck Bridge, running south through Queens and ending at Grand Central Parkway. The expressway was planned to extend into southeastern Queens. However, lack of funding and public opposition delayed the segment, and in 1971, it was officially killed by Governor Rockefeller. The last unbuilt highway to talk about is the Astoria Expressway. The Astoria Expressway was planned to run along Northern Boulevard and Astoria Boulevard, intended for commercial traffic in northeast Queens. The expressway was initially proposed in 1930 by Robert Moses. The proposed Astoria Expressway would have cut through the neighborhood of Corona, Jackson Heights, Woodside, and Astoria. In 1955, it was included as part of the interstate highway system. It was designated as Interstate 595 and later as Interstate 695. In 1965, Moses announced the finalized plan of the Astoria Expressway to be 2.5 miles long and cost $38 million. The destination was changed again to Interstate 678 and the completion date was set for 1970. However, after John Lindsay was elected as mayor, he removed Robert Moses from his post, and the Astoria Expressway was removed from interstate eligibility in 1968. And that is 6 highway projects in New York City proposed by Robert Moses that was never built. Throughout my research for this video, I found that Robert Moses was addicted to highways more than I thought, and many of these plans, if built, would make neighborhoods disconnected or even completely disappear. Of course, these 6 are the only highways proposed by him that were cancelled. His proposed highways spread across all 5 boroughs of the city. If you want to see me cover the rest of them, tell me in the comments below. If you want to learn more about highway proposed by Robert Moses, you can check out this video, where I go through the full story of Lower Manhattan Expressway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on that video.